Hi, Maria. Thank you again for meeting with me.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing to meet back with me.
Of course. I just want to see how things are going. How have things been since we met last? I know it's been about a month or so.
Um, Things have been, I guess, okay. I'm still continuing to struggle with the depression. I don't see that getting any better anytime soon.
Okay. Has any symptoms worsened? What are your symptoms right now?
Um, Honestly, the thought of just not being able to get out of bed. My oldest daughter is having to do much more now than she was before. I'm just sleeping all day. I have no motivation to get up. I guess that's also why it's been so long since we've been able to do this. I've honestly just had no motivation to want to do this.
Gotcha. Would you say it is still linked to the death of your mother, or would it be linked to something else making the problem worse?
I think that's still definitely a lingering thing because I still haven't been able to process it. My husband's work schedule is just continuing to get worse. And so I'm still stuck with the kids, having to take care of them, and I'm just not getting any of that time.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So it doesn't seem like anything has improved. Would that be a correct assessment?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've been thinking about your case and what I can do. If you see me looking to the side, I'm looking to my notes that I made last time. But um, I have researched something that I think might be of some help to you if you're willing to participate. I know you said you're struggling to even get out of bed in the morning. So this could be used just in your head. And if this doesn't seem to help, even just at the end of the session, I have a backup plan. Um, and we can go from there. Does that sound okay?
Mhm.
Okay, great. I did want to ask one thing. Where the depression is worsening, have you had any thoughts of harming yourself or made any plans to kill yourself? I know that's a very crass question, but something that I feel is necessary to ask.
Um, I've definitely thought about it, but I've not acted on it.
Thought about which one?
Probably just harming myself.
Okay. And how deep have those thoughts went? Have you formulated a plan, or do you have any ideas of how you would hurt yourself?
Not really. I just have more intense thoughts of just thinking that the world would be better without me, or that it would be easier without the kids having to worry about me, things like that.
Okay. Well, that's something we definitely want to keep in check, and we want to get this thing under control. Um, so the first thing I want to ask you is, so this is called like the miracle question. And so if you were to wake up one day and everything was magically better, and you were not depressed anymore, and you felt like everything was back to normal, what could you think of that would have changed to make you think, okay, yeah, that it's better now, like I'm fixed? I'm sorry, I apologize for my email.
Mm,
And you can take a second to think about it.
yeah. It would probably be, I guess, would have to do with my husband, just knowing that he had a set schedule of he was going to be home at 5 o'clock every day, so that we could just be more of a family, that we could sit down and eat dinner together. We could enjoy each other's company more than what we are. Um, and I feel like it's selfish for me to say, but that so that I could also have that time for myself that I haven't had.
That's not selfish. You have to have time to take care of yourself. Self-care is a thing. We have to do self-care as professionals. You have to do self-care as a parent, because being a parent is incredibly hard, especially where you don't have any support around. So, would you say that the issues with your husband have gotten worse?
I don't think the issues have gotten worse. I just guess where nothing is changing, it's just driving me deeper into a hole. Because I mean, they're not getting worse, but they're not getting better. So I guess the symptoms are just getting worse of
That's
what's.
wearing on you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Um, it's great that you said your oldest daughter has started helping more and kept helping more. But we definitely want our kids to still be a kid, right? And I know from how we talked last time, you pride yourself in being a good mom, and I'm sure it's really bothering you that you've not been able to do that. So, um, you said the best way to fix it would be your husband being home by 5.
Mhm.
Is that correct? Okay, so that's kind of the how. So how the problem would be fixed is your husband is home by 5. How could we make that a reality? Is there a way that he could change his schedule? Is that an option, or is there any options for him to work with that possibility?
I'm not really sure. He's never really asked about it to try and see if it would be a possibility. Or even if I guess he was just like the longest he was gone was 24 hours instead of like 2 and 3 days. Just
Okay.
knowing that, okay, yeah, he'll be gone one night, but then he'll be back the next day. Just because I know from the work schedule he has now, going to 5 o'clock is kind of unrealistic. But even if maybe those times could just be shortened, that way it was
Hmm.
less of like 3 to 4 days and more of just, okay, one night he's gone.
Gotcha. Is he home on the weekends?
It depends. Sometimes yes,
Okay.
sometimes no. Just depends on how things fall.
I just want to apologize for my dog. Part of telehealth is just animals all over the place. Um, so I'm looking down to write notes as well, to sort of give you a little bit of homework, I guess,
Mhm.
to work on. Let me shut my door. I'm so sorry. So, if your husband was able to be home, since we're looking at this miracle, what would that look like? So, obviously, he would be there to help with the kids, but what else would change?
I don't know. I hope that it would give us more time to, I guess, feel like we're a family. Because
Mhm.
we don't eat dinner together. We don't really do things together as a family. Um, and I would like to think that, maybe if I knew, okay, we're going to be together as a family, we're going to go to a movie or something like that, that it would give me more of a want to get up and to be a part of that family if I knew it was, going to be all of us being able to be a family.
Mhm. I remember last time you said, when he was home, he used to go to your mother with questions about the kids, but now he's obviously having to come to you. Has that gotten any better, or has it gotten worse, about the same?
Um, I feel like it's gotten better, but I don't know if it's more of because he wants it to get better or that it's having to get better because I'm being more withdrawn, and so he's
Yeah.
he's having to. I don't know if it's as much of a want to as much as he has to.
Well, it seems like from what you told me, last time to now, I mean, he does seem like he is a good dad when he's able to be there. So maybe it is just he's bringing in, or bringing, I guess, himself up to speed, and trying to, can't always be 100%. Sometimes we're 20% and our partner has to be the other 80. Maybe he's just trying to match that because he sees that you're struggling. Um, so other than that, is there anything else that would be different? I know we talked about a little bit you all as a couple last time. Have you all been able to do anything to work on you all as a couple, or what would you want to do to work on you all as a couple?
I would definitely like to be able to find time for us also without the kids. As much as I want time, to myself, I still also want that time with my husband. Because I mean,
Absolutely.
he's my best friend, and so not having that time with him, I think, is also wearing on me.
Mhm.
Because if we are together, we always have the kids, and so I think it would
Mhm.
be nice to be able to know that we're gonna have even just a dinner where it's just the two of us and have that time to spend with each other.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, well, maybe this is something we could work on. And I know I talked about finding some support groups that kind of tied in religion and even have some childcare options.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could make some connections in those groups and find someone who could babysit for a couple of hours. Um, I know it's very valuable time when he isn't at work for him to spend with the kids, but it's also very important for you all to spend time. Would you say that's fair?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe we could look at that as an avenue and an option, and I'll make sure to send you all of the groups that I found. I'll send it to you in an email, just where we're not meeting face to face. So if we were to work towards this miracle, where would you see yourself in a month? I know depression, you have a history of depression. Is this similar to how you felt in the past, or is this worse, better? Tell me a little bit about the history.
It feels the same, but worse, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel just kind of more, I've never felt this lonely, I guess, in the depression. So it's almost like a different kind than the depression that I have experienced prior.
Okay. Well, if you were to get this miracle world and in a month we were able to work everything out and your husband was able to be home more, what would that look like? Where would you be mentally?
I would definitely like to think that hopefully it would help. I feel like it would give me more of a desire to also want to help myself, because
Mhm.
I think right now I just don't feel like I have much to get me where I want to be or much of a motivation. And so I would like to think that, maybe if I'm still not doing better mentally, I would have more of a motivation to want to do better.
To work towards whatever it is we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could give me a scale to 1 to 10, how confident are you that you would be able to achieve that? The feeling better on your scale. 1 being it's never going to happen, 10 being I'm 100% sure it will happen, just not sure when.
I would like to think I could be like a 6 or a 7, trying to be hopeful.
Absolutely. Well, that's good to see when you said you've not been having a whole lot of hope lately. So I'm glad to see that. I want to sort of leave you with a little bit of homework. It's not hard. But I want you to do 2 things. I want you to talk with Jason and see if it is a possibility to change his work schedule. Because how long has he been where he is for his job? How many years?
I think it's been over 5. It's been quite a few.
Okay, so he might have a little bit of pull, have a little bit of seniority, and
Mhm.
may be able to change his schedule, even if not all the time, maybe a couple days a week,
Yeah.
right? Just to get a little bit of a boost for you. And the second thing I want you to do is you don't even have to write it down. You can use the notes app on your phone. Is sort of write down a couple of things for me, and I'll send this to you in an email as well, so you have it to see and look at. But I want to look at sort of, I want you to be able to see your beliefs of things from an outside perspective, kind of like a hypothesis. So I want you to sort of write down or put in your notes when something happens and you have that very down feeling or unpleasant emotion or thought. I want you to write down what that thought is.
Okay.
And then I want you to write down specifically what emotion is with that thought. And then rate how strong that emotion is from 1 to 100, being 1 non-existent, 100 just absolutely crippling. And then I want you to write down what happened before that feeling to make you feel that way, just so you can sort of see what was leading up to that. And then, so sometimes when we do that, if we were to say, I walked into a room and I felt embarrassed because there were some girls looking at me and laughing.
Mhm.
Our automatic thought could be, oh, I have something on my face, or they're laughing at me because of what I'm wearing, when in reality, they're talking about something funny that happened to one of the people sitting in the group. So I want you to write down what you're thinking of the negative thought. Is this all making sense so far?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I know it's a lot, but I will make sure this is all in the email. That way you can get back to it. But then I want you to write down the rational response. So I'm thinking when I see them that they are laughing at me because this, and this. Rational response would be, oh, they're probably laughing at something that they're talking about. And then rate that belief on how believable is it. 1, not believable at all. 100, totally believable. And then write how that thought makes you feel.
Okay.
So relaxed, even if it's constantly like after I have that rational response, I'm totally relaxed, just go with the flow. So when you come back to me, I can see where our thoughts are, see if there's a trend, or see if there's something that we can process together.
Okay.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel after this conversation? I know it was kind of brief, but feeling any better, worse, same?
I feel about the same. I feel kind of hopeful. I hope to sit down and talk with my husband about maybe his work schedule and see what we can do with that. So I'm trying to be as hopeful as possible.
Okay. Well, that's what we want to hear. But just when you think about it, try and write those little things down for me, and we can maybe see a trend in what's happening. Because so it's called Beck is the person who came up with this. It's a daily record of dysfunctional thoughts. Sometimes we have distortions that change our thoughts to be one way, and it's not actually that way. It literally distorts what we're thinking. But this person came up with this, and it's really been seen to help with depressed emotions and thoughts and depression. So if this works, maybe we can keep going with it and see some progress. Okay. All righty. Well, if you need anything in the meantime, feel free to shoot me an email, and I will send you a schedule to set up the next session. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All righty. You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.